Listen to this. In 2024, the Bureau of Labor Statistics recorded 844 fatal falls, slips, and trips in the workplace. That is 844 workers who didn't go home to their families, often over something as totally avoidable as a cluttered walkway or a misused ladder. I'm a senior EHS manager, and today we're running a complete no-nonsense explainer on slips, trips, and falls prevention. We'll be covering the true costs, the top OSHA slips, trips, and falls violations, and the daily checklists you absolutely need to keep your crew safe and your site compliant. Let's get into it.
Just let that single number sink in for a second. 844. In just 1 year, 844 workers suffered fatal falls, slips, or trips. It's a brutal, stark reminder of the very real human cost of complacency on the job. We aren't just talking about scraped knees and minor bruises here, right? We are talking about highly destructive, life-altering events that devastate families and fundamentally change the lives of your crew members forever.
Okay, here's our agenda for today's Toolbox Talk. The cost of complacency, top causes of job site falls, OSHA walking working surfaces rule, the complete housekeeping checklist, ladder and height safety, and running your Toolbox Talk. Stick around, because in just a minute, I'm going to give you the exact 3-point ladder checklist that literally eliminates 90% of working at height falls.
Section 1. The cost of complacency. Now, looking at the BLS data, while overall workplace fatalities actually dropped by 4% in 2024, which is great, falls and slips remain stubbornly high across construction safety and general industry. We're making solid strides in other areas of workplace safety, but gravity remains an undefeated opponent, and neglected walking surfaces are absolutely our most persistent enemies on the site.
Let's talk about that day-to-day reality. Slips, trips, and falls make up roughly 25% of all reported workplace incidents. And even worse, 20% of those result in serious injuries. We're talking about severe, life-altering trauma. Think 30% of fall injuries involving broken bones, alongside a huge incidence of head trauma and torn ligaments. For your site, that translates to massive operational downtime, complicated workers' compensation claims, and heavy financial consequences.
Section 2. Top causes of job site falls.
To stop these incidents, we have to understand how they actually happen in the real world. See this unmanaged puddle? About 55% of these incidents stem directly from environmental factors exactly like this. We're talking wet floors from tracked-in weather, uneven surfaces, cords strung across an aisle, or just plain poor lighting. These are the physical hazards that we as site leaders and supervisors must aggressively hunt down and eliminate.
But hey, it's not just the environment, is it? Another 25% of these incidents are driven completely by human error and behavioral hazards. When a worker carries oversized boxes that completely block their view, they turn a totally safe floor into a danger zone. Rushing through tasks, carrying heavy loads blindly, or wearing the wrong footwear for the environment. These actions pretty much guarantee an incident is just a matter of time.
It's like we're fighting a battle on two fronts here. On one side, we have to fix unsafe conditions, like unguarded edges, unlit stairwells, and slippery floors. But simultaneously, we absolutely must stop unsafe actions, like reaching over guardrails, running, or skipping safety protocols. You just cannot have a safe site if you're only focusing on half of the equation.
Section 3. OSHA Walking Working Surfaces Rule.
Let's talk compliance, because this isn't just about best practices. There is strict regulatory enforcement here. OSHA's 29 CFR 1910 Subpart D is your absolute baseline, and ignoring it will cost your company thousands in instant fines. It explicitly mandates that every employer keep all places of employment, passageways, and service rooms clean, orderly, and sanitary. Every passageway and platform has to support its intended load and provide a safe means of access and egress. It calls out keeping surfaces totally free of hazards, things like sharp objects, loose boards, corrosion, leaks, and spills. Remember, this is a strict legal requirement, not a suggestion.
Section 4. The complete housekeeping checklist.
The single best way to stay compliant with OSHA and keep your crew safe is aggressive daily housekeeping. Make this specific checklist mandatory on your site today. First, clean all spills immediately, no waiting around. Second, secure your mats, rugs, and aggressively manage your cords. Tape down those temporary cables so they aren't tripping hazards. Third, constantly eliminate clutter and remove obstacles from walkways. And fourth, ensure adequate lighting, meaning you replace burnt-out bulbs instantly. I really cannot stress this enough. High-tech safety gear completely fails if basic housekeeping is ignored. And of course, your workers have got to be wearing the right gear. Slipping happens when there's just too little traction between the shoe and the walking surface. Workers must wear slip-resistant footwear that is specifically rated for the hazards of your site to maintain traction on unpredictable surfaces. You need to verify that their footwear meets the appropriate ASTM standards for slip resistance and impact protection.
Section 5. Ladder and Height Safety.
Now we need to address what is often the most dangerous piece of equipment on your entire site, the ladder. Before a boot even thinks about touching a rung, you must follow this setup protocol. Inspect the ladder thoroughly for cracks, rust, rot, or defects. Make sure it's placed on firm, dry, and level ground. If you're using an A-frame, fully open and lock those side braces. And here is a golden rule. Never, ever use a painted ladder. Paint can easily hide extremely dangerous structural defects.
Once it's set up, safe climbing comes down to pure, strict mechanics. Always face the ladder. You must absolutely maintain 3 points of contact at all times. That means 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand. Use a tool belt or a pulley system instead of your hands to carry items up or down. And never stand on the top step, period. Deliver this 3-point contact rule to your crews as an absolute law of fall protection.
Section 6. Running your toolbox talk.
All right, so as supervisors, how do you actually take this explainer and apply it with your crews today? Take this exact 4-step toolbox talk framework to your next meeting. First, start with the hard data. Share that 8440 fatality statistic to establish real urgency. Second, clearly outline and assign specific housekeeping duties to the team. Third, conduct a joint site walkthrough right after the meeting wraps. And fourth, fix the tripping and falling hazards you identify immediately, together as a team. That's true incident prevention in action.
You're aiming to build a culture of constant, total vigilance. If you encounter a situation where you just cannot immediately eliminate a hazard, like maybe a floor is actively drying or there's a temporary structural issue, ensure highly visible warning signs are posted right away. Keeping everyone alert and fully aware of their surroundings is a massive part of keeping your team safe.
The Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety sums this whole thing up perfectly. They say, without good housekeeping practices, any other preventive measures will never be fully effective. And they hit the nail on the head. Think about it. You can buy the absolute best high-tech flooring and the most expensive, top-tier safety boots on the market, but without basic, relentless housekeeping, all those investments are completely useless.
So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. I want you to think about this question. What is the most dangerous slip, trip, or fall hazard on your job site right now, and exactly how will you fix it today? Look around your work area the moment this explainer ends. Identify that biggest fall hazard and get it corrected before someone gets hurt.
Like, share, and subscribe to HSE Study for more high-impact safety insights.